Leonardo da Vinci once said that time waits just long enough for those who use it. So the question is, what are you doing with your time? We all have 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with your time? Are you building your dream? Or are you helping someone else build theirs? Are you putting in the work every single day, every single moment of now? Are you planning for your future? They say planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. So the question is this: what are you doing with your time? Remember, the time is always now.
And thank you for joining me for the Time Is Always Now podcast. My name is Terence Young. This is a podcast that is dedicated to helping people get past their excuses. Helping people say, I'm not going to do it someday or one day, but I'm going to do it right now, because now is the only time that we have. If you don't know who I am, my name is Terence Young. I go by TY. I am a mindset coach, a new thought transformational speaker, an author, a runner, and a workshop facilitator. I help people change their mindsets so they can change their lives. I help them harness the power in the eternal moment of now so they can make changes to their life for the better right now. That's what it's all about. If you want to donate to the podcast, by all means you can. Just go to my website. It's TerenceYoungNow.com. You can donate there, and thank you in advance for allowing me to continue to do what I do, which is offer these messages of encouragement, of inspiration to all of the world. My passion is to raise the consciousness of the world, and I know we can do that. You and I together can do that. So thank you for joining me for the podcast today. This week in the Time Is Always Now Facebook group, our theme has been showing up. And by the way, if you haven't joined the Time Is Always Now Facebook group, head on over to Facebook and jump on. Every single week we have a theme, and we encourage and we inspire each other to focus on that theme so we can make changes in our life for the better right now. We're not waiting on someday. We're not waiting on all the circumstances to be perfect. We are moving forward right now. So if you want to be a part of that group, of this movement, join the Time Is Always Now Facebook group. You're going to love it. So the theme this week has been showing up for ourselves. That's the first thing you got to do. Yes, you can show up for your friends and your family, but you know what? Before you do all that, you got to show up for yourself. So I'm going to share some nuggets with you on how you can put this into your life and make tangible changes to your life right now by using that theme and that concept of showing up. So 3 different quotes that I used this week I'm going to share with you. The first one is this: the most bravest and most important thing you can do is to show up. The most bravest, the most important thing you can do in your life is to show up. That's so important. Some people think that that's complicated, but it's really not. I'll share this with you. I started out speaking as a Toastmaster. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a leadership and organizational group. They're all over the world, and they help you become better leaders, better speakers, better organizers, all of these things. They teach you confidence. And so that's how I got into speaking. So, excuse me, once I started out, I figured out I was pretty good at it, and I got to the point where they had a contest, they had an area contest, and that means I was just going against my group anymore, my little group in my corporate world. I was going against the best people in my area, like in the whole county, and I felt a little bit nervous about it. Even though I knew in my heart I was really good, I still had some trepidation. I had feelings of, do I really want to show up to this contest? Or can I just sit back and say, I know I'm good, I can do what I do, but I don't have to go to that contest. but I fought through that, and I did show up. So we show up at the contest, and all the other speakers are there. There's like 8 of us, something like that. And they drew straws to see who's going to do their speech first. And when you know it, I got picked first. I went first. I was the first one to go. And I'm glad I was, because I was the first one to go, and I killed it. I knocked it out of the box. And then I got to see all the other speakers. And it turns out I ended up coming in second place for that. But you know what? I recognized something. Even the guy who did win, it was at his company, and I think there was a good chance that if we were somewhere else, I would have won. A lot of people told me, man, your speech was the best. And it made me understand something. I showed up, and I realized he was really good. The other ones, they were not on my level. I knew right then, I was like, wow, I'm glad I showed up here. I know, now we're talking about speakers all over the area, and I'm crushing it. And I knew it. If I didn't show up, I wouldn't have known that. If I wasn't brave enough to show up, I wouldn't have seen that. Seeing that changed my mindset even more and made me more confident as a speaker. I'm speaking against people all over the county, and I'm one of the best ones here. The most bravest thing you can do is just show up. So what about in your life? What is it in your life that you are holding back on and you're not showing up because of some type of fear that's holding you back? You've got to be brave enough to get past that fear. We've talked about fear a lot on this podcast before, and we talk about it in the Time Is Always Now Facebook group. So you've got to be able to overcome fear and show up for yourself. It's the most important and bravest thing you can do. Show up for yourself. That's the first one. I love this second quote I'm going to share with you here. 80% of success, 80% of success is showing up. Just showing up. 80%. I love to talk about one of my favorite basketball players, LeBron James. We all know he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's not, right? We all know he's one of the best in the league, one of the best ever to play. But you know what a lot of people talk about is this. He shows up. You know how many great players take off games and rest when they're not hurt? LeBron James show up. If he's not injured, he's playing 82 games, or however many they have. I think this year it's like 72. I think he's missed one game this year. One game. If you go through the history of his 18 years, he shows up. He's a great player, yes. But I love the quote, 80% of success, you gotta be there. You gotta be there first. You have to show up in order to get the reward of whatever it is. If you think about this, think about it tangibly in your life. If you don't show up for the contest, how are you gonna win it? How do you know? You don't show up for the job interview, how are you gonna get the job? If you don't show up and make that phone call to get that angel investor for your business, how are you gonna get it? You think they're gonna call you? It doesn't work that way. 80% of success is just showing up. Think about how that applies to your life. What business opportunity are you going for? What health challenge are you going through? Are you showing up? That's so important. It's so important. 80% of success, just showing up. Be there. Then you can take care of the rest. Number 3 is this. Your dreams will show up for you when you show up for yourself. We'll say that one again. Your dreams will show up for you when you show up for yourself. I love this. When I was training for the Chicago Marathon, at this point, that is my PR. And yes, I'm not running now. Knees still bother me, yada, 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 but I'm not making excuses. I went out and rode today, as a matter of fact. I rode 25 miles on the bike. I'm doing cardio like that and lifting weights to do my best to stay in shape when I can't run. And I'm letting my body heal. However, when I was running, training for the Chicago Marathon, I think that was 2019, maybe 2018, your dreams will show up for you when you show up for them. My dream was to, at this point, was to beat my PR, which was 3:55. So I said, I gotta beat my PR. So what did I do? I got the training plan out and I worked, and I worked, and I worked. And that means getting up at 5:30 in the morning, running 10 miles, then going to work. At the time I was working for a company 2 or 3 times a week. That meant on Saturdays getting up at 5:30 in the morning, running 15, 18, 20 miles. Nobody's there watching. Maybe some other runners on Saturdays. Most of the time during the week, I ran by myself. Then on Saturdays, I would do some runs with a group of people, at least go to a group run. No one's watching. The sun ain't out. Most people are sleeping. But I had a dream. The dream was to make a new PR for myself. That was to beat the 3:55 that I ran in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, years before that. That was the dream. So in order to do that, I had to show up for myself and then let my dream show up for me. And that's what I did. I ran 3:53. Took like 2 minutes off of my PR for the time. That is my PR as of right now. I haven't beaten that one yet. But the only way to make that dream come true was to show up every single day. Every single day. Working, doing the runs, doing the training, eating right. Whatever I had to do. What is it for you? What is it for you where you have a dream but you're not showing up? I love the quote that champions are made in the off season. It's true. And it doesn't have to be about sports, but they're made in the off season. When we talk about marathons, right? A lot of people will say a marathon is hundreds of miles. The finish line is the last 26.2. See, I trained hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles to show up on race day and run those 26.2. You just don't show up and run 26.2. It's all the work you showed up for before that. Now take that concept and that idea and apply it to your life. What is it that you need to show up for each and every day to make your dream come true? Your dreams come true. Are you showing up every day? Are you putting in the work every day? Are you showing up every day for yourself so your dreams will show up for you? It's powerful, very powerful. If we just show up for ourselves each and every day, it's going to change our lives. Yes, we show up for ourselves, then show up for our family and our friends as well. It's going to change our lives and change their lives as well. But showing up is so, so important. The most bravest and most important thing you can do is show up. 80% of success is simply showing up. That's so important. And your dreams will show up for you when you show up for yourself. Did you hear a theme here? Show up for yourself. Show up for your life, and that will make your dreams come true. We all have dreams. We all have aspirations, but we have to show up for ourselves first if we want those dreams to come true. If you do that, then you will be able to unequivocally say, I own the now, and I have won. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Time Is Always Now podcast. I want you to share this podcast with your friends, with your family. I want everybody to be able to get this message, be able to share these messages of inspiration, of encouragement. My goal, again, is to change the consciousness of humanity. And I know we can do that when we recognize that there is no other time but now. So thank you again for joining me. If you haven't heard, I have the Facebook group, which is the Time Is Always Now Facebook group. And you can join that group by going to Facebook and searching for the Time Is Always Now Facebook group. You'll find it there. Join it. It's a great community of people that inspire and encourage each other every single day to move forward and not wait for the right time. Just in case you don't know, I have a CD out that I just released on meditation. I think it's really, really important to meditate. Our world needs meditation right now. So it's meditating on the 12 spiritual powers. If you are into meditation, if you're not, you should be. And if you are, go grab that CD. You can get it anywhere you download digital music. Search for Terence Young now, and you will find all of my music, that CD as well as my other CDs as well. So thank you for that. There's going to be more coming out from me. I offered a webinar last week on the 3 keys to finding your passion and living it right now. I'm going to be repeating that and offering some new webinars coming forward where I would love you guys to join me. So you'll hear more about that. Just go to my website, terenceyoungnow.com, or on Facebook. You'll hear more about that. So thank you again for joining me. This is TY. I'm signing off. Remember, the time is always now.